Today it's mostly like my brain is way back in a tunnel somewhere shouting what to do. Oh, I have to explain to you what a brain is?
Yes.
I'll give you the short answer later. Well, I do want to mention that we will be closed next Sunday, that's Christmas Day, and the Sunday after that, that's New Year's Day. You can show up both those days if you want to and have a service out in the parking lot, but I won't be here. So, especially New Year's Day, I'll be watching the parade, the Rose Parade. So, but I've been thinking of, you know, just because you're not here on Christmas Day, there's no reason not to do some of the church things. So Christmas Day, start off your morning with sending out prayers of healing. That actually is something I try to do every morning. But make it a special Christmas Day. Send out prayers to those people you know who are in need. You are, by the way, allowed to include yourself in that list. Ask healing prayers for you. If you're fortunate and everybody you know is doing fantastic, they're healthy, well, think of the healing pyramid. We got all kinds of names in that pyramid of people who need healing. You don't have to know their names, just know that they're there, and God and spirits will direct the healing to them. And we always say our larger healing list, this is the shortened version of it. The large version, if I printed it out on pages this big, would go on for about 25 pages. Of people who have told us of different ones who have needed healing over the past year, several years. You know, there are people on this list for years who are in need of prayers that long. Again, send out the thought, send out the prayer. God and spirits will direct healing to all those who are in need. Let's start off next Sunday with a healing prayer. And then take some time after that to contemplate God. What a perfect day to do that. Christmas Day. Think about the fact that God is all-knowing. Just think about that. Santa sees you when you're sleeping, knows when you're awake, knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. God sees all that and more. He sees what you've been up to, what your intentions were, your thoughts, your hopes, your prayers. God knows everything that has ever happened in your whole entire life, down to the most tiny little detail. God knows all. God knows everything that could happen in your life. Every possibility, no matter how remote. God already knows all about it. That's one reason why when I have a problem in my life, and this is me, you don't have to do it this way, I don't pray to God and tell God what's going on in my life. Because God knows what's going on in your life. God knew before you did what was going to happen in your life. Instead, personally, I pray for some of God's knowledge and wisdom so I can figure out how to resolve what's going on in my life. And if it's something good, then please tell me how to keep it going. I mean, once a year on my birthday I get presents, And this year, I decided to have the 7 days of Joseph, so maybe people would keep giving me presents.
He did.
I also tried to convince people to sing Joey to the World, but
We did.
I didn't. Contemplate on Christmas the fact that God is everywhere, all the time. There is no place you can go that God is absent from. To me, that is quite possibly one of the most comforting things you could ever know. Whatever you're going through in your life, you don't have to say, "Oh God, please stand beside me," because you have the sure knowledge that God is with you all the time. God is present everywhere, always. I have heard and read in some older text of people talking about how so-and-so passed on and is now sitting on the right-hand side of God. My first thought about that, is, after I read it a bunch of times, is how big is the right-hand side of God? Because there's several million people sitting there. My more overwhelming thought was, do these people actually think they have to wait to be with God? Yeah, they do. Because there's an awful lot of people in the world that believe they were kicked out of God's presence. And you've got to work to get back into God's presence. No, you don't. God is everywhere. God is all powerful. Again, I've heard it said that miracles used to happen. They don't happen anymore. Really? Beg to differ. I think it all depends on how you look at things. Baby is born, there's a miracle. The baby learns how to walk and talk, there's a miracle. You get them to sit down, shut up, and listen, that's a miracle. Yeah, okay, we know the fact that the sun doesn't actually rise, that the planet Earth spins on its axis, but even still, you go outside sometime and you see well, I won't say a glorious sunrise because I don't think I've ever seen one of those, but a beautiful sunset. If you see a beautiful sunset or a gorgeous sunrise, and even if you know all the science behind it, well, first of all, the beauty of it, to me, that's a miracle. Second of all, knowing all the science behind it, that to me just speaks of God's power. Even think about it. Somehow, we don't know yet how, but one day science may figure out the universe came into existence. 16 billion years later, through all kinds of shifts and changes to the universe, our planet formed. You were born, and you were able to be in that spot at that moment to see that gorgeous sunrise with that beautiful sunset.